So we have new stages here added onto the legendary Raging Battle Super here. They are a bit harder than the other ones. The only other bad thing I don't necessarily like about this, but it's also semi-good, is that these stages actually require arts boosting units. So I think, if I remember correctly, they require over arts boost level 80, I think it is, or 79. So it is a bit tedious, but this is why I always say in a lot of my videos, arts boosting is very beneficial to these sort of hard PvE events, right? And it's also worth, not researching, but looking into which units to arts boost. So, like I said before, typically new units are really good, especially for Anniversary, because we know most events, or most PvE events to do with Anniversary, obviously involve the new units, right? So, for me, since I already arts boosted Broly and Gogeta, I think I did before doing this, it was still... Actually, I think I got Broly done before this, just before the event, actually. I guess the next big thing about this is, I think you do actually need to get at least one of the new units. So even if you have, let's say you have Gogeta, but you don't have Broly, or you have Broly, not Gogeta, you should still be fine to take on this event. So, to me, I didn't think it was as difficult as I was expecting, right? Because the units that they give you, so for this stage, for example, they give you Paragus and Broly for free here, and they're pretty good. Like, they do tank, well, they're not really tanking that good, but they're tanking pretty much the same as Gogeta and Broly. So I guess it's semi-good, so they are, I'm assuming they're not arts boosted, but they have the same sort of stats, because I don't think we've got any guaranteed heavy attack stats here. So that's another thing as well, with arts boosting, if you max them out to 99 on each, you get obviously the heavy attack damage, which for these events is huge, because basically it's guaranteed crit, right? So that's why I heavily say on these PvE modes, make sure you get at least one of the characters done. So even if you get Gogeta done, fully arts boosted, you should be fine, or at least over 80, I reckon. But yeah, these challenges surprisingly weren't too bad considering what like the last ones were. So what I'll do is the same thing I've done in the previous video, so I will link that in the description below if you haven't done the normal stages. So this one here, these are all pre-recorded, I'm just doing the voiceover now. I think some of these challenges I got done in one run, and then some of them I had to go back and do a retry and just get like two or one challenges. I think it missed on one of them. So, but I typically use the same strategy, which this one doesn't really have a strategy. It's just basically don't die with Paragus and Broly. If you die with them, it's pretty much game over. And, well, no, you can still win it, but the other challenges on, you need to have them survive. So you gotta be very careful with that, but I don't think this one was too bad. I think you have to use a special skill 4 times, 5 times, which it gets fairly easy. The special moves, you do have to make sure you land it, because some of these challenges, for example, you do have to read the missions, because you can sometimes not cheat it, but bypass it a little bit. So, for example, some special skills or even special moves, it will say use, or it could say land the card, right? So if it says use, you don't have to worry about it landing as long as you click the card, right? But if it says land, you have to make sure it hits. So, for example, in the first stages for the normal phase of this event, there was one stage you have to use the yellow Gogeta, and obviously with his green card, he does the like the mini counter there. But like I said, when I read it, it said only use, not land. So you could just spam that strategically, and you should be fine. So this one, I nearly got done one run, but I needed the special moves 5 times of Paragus and Broly, and I forgot what the last one was, but as you can see here, it's the same run. I was just to show you, I ended up brought Broly. So bringing Broly, I would probably say for most of these fights is probably your best bet to go. The reason I recommend Broly is because when he transforms, obviously he has that pushback ability, and that's obviously very helpful when you're getting combos and stuff like that. So having Broly there as sort of a tank unit is a pretty good idea. Or Gogeta tanks pretty well as well, so you can bring either one. But out of all these stages, I don't think there was any real difficult ones I can think of. The only 2 that's to get for me is the last fight, and then there's another Broly fight you got to do. I think it's either stage 7 or 6, one of them. I can't remember which one it is, and you have to. Well, I think it's yellow Broly, or it's usually red Broly, but I think they changed it to yellow for the boss. Obviously, that was a pretty hard one, which I don't know if you necessarily need Gogeta for it, the new one, because he does massively help out, but you can probably get away with just using Broly, and obviously the free characters they give you. But same thing, you have to be very strategic about that fight, but we'll get to it in a minute. But pretty much these stages are really easy. What's another tip to give you? This stage, I can't remember exactly what it was. If I remember correctly, it was like use 5 special moves of Golden Frieza with Frieza, and then 5 with Broly. I think that's it, and I think land 10 attacks on both. So, but you'll see here with most of these fights, you can pretty much use the free units they give you to beat the bosses. I only really have Gogeta here, for example, obviously because you need to pick a character, but just a sort of sub here and there so I can get my timer counts up and my vanish and all that ready for them. So, yeah, in the early stages you probably don't really need the new units, but I'm thinking well, I think it's stage 7, the Broly fight there and the last fight, you probably do need the new units to, you know, beat it fairly easily, but I think you can still beat it without it. Like, if you had Paragus and Broly and you still had them at Arts Boost, like max Arts Boost, you should still be fine for that, I think. It will make it a lot harder, obviously, but you should still be fine, I would say. It's just a lot harder to do. But the only other bad thing about this is there wasn't really that good rewards. I think in total we got like 500cc, which is okay, but doing these tedious missions, probably not worth it, because obviously as you can see by the clip here, well, the video here, it is a fairly long one. I did cut it down. I think all up, the video from all the recordings I did was about an hour long. So it's not a super long event, but like I said, it is tedious, and if you don't have the new characters, it will make this a lot more tedious to grind and harder to grind. So that's why I thought I'd get this video up as soon as possible, quickly show you me getting it done. I did plan on getting it done last night, but the problem is, like I said, it's a huge event, so recording it, editing it, stuff like that, it does take a long time to do. So since I'm doing it on a Friday night, I have a lot of time to edit it and stuff like that. So hopefully it's not too late, this video. But next week, I'm not too sure what to expect in terms of events. If this stage will have more, like we could get realistically an extreme phase of this event. I don't think we will, but it's possible. Because when I looked at the event last week, or whenever I did the video, it did say there was more stages to come. So whether that they did mean just this stage here, by the hard stages, or there's going to be an extreme one as well, because I don't feel like this was super challenging. It's definitely hard, well, not hard, but definitely tedious to grind, so maybe that's why it's a lot harder. But it's still not extremely difficult. Like, if you guys remember back in the OG days of Legends, with the full power Freezer event, like this is back like maybe year 1 of the game, I reckon, or 2. Like, this is very early on I'm talking about, and like the Freezer event for that was horrendous to do. I got it done back then, but it was terrible. It was terrible grinding that. It was fun. I liked the challenge, but I wouldn't do it again. Actually, now I think about it, there was a lot of really bad, or not bad, but really grindy stuff that Legends used to do. Like, if you guys remember the OG Yellow Kid Goku Zenkai for co-op, oh my god, that was just that was horrendous. Because back then we had no skip tickets and stuff like that. So at least at these events, they are hard, but they're not as tedious to grind as the older days of Legends, so I'm happy about that. That was pretty bad. Do we got the challenges on this one run? Or close to all of them done? Like I said, most of these I got done pretty much in one go, which on the last one, the normal stages, it took a little bit longer to actually get the challenges done. Okay, so there's only land 2 special moves of both, so not too bad at all. Yeah, again, with that one, you'd have to get fairly lucky with, with cards being drawn there. Right, so this one I don't think was too challenging either. I do think it took me 2 attempts, if I remember correctly, because you have to hit, like, I think it's 10 attacks with Bardock, 10 attacks Oh yeah, we have 15 attacks with all of them, or 10 attacks with Bardock, one of them. So this one, I think I got done in two runs because I must have literally been like one attack short for Vegeta. I think it was. Like, it would have been incredibly low the amount of attacks I needed to get done. But yeah, again, another easy fight. Wasn't really too difficult. I don't remember how much I used Gogeta here. Because obviously Gogeta does tear up Broly fairly easily in this fight. So maybe I used him a lot. Can't remember. But yeah, again, as you can see, like, Vegeta is just doing really good damage here. So you don't necessarily need the new unit for this one again. Even if you brought Broly and Paragus, you know, you'd still be fine no matter what, I'd say. Was there anything else difficult about this stage? I don't think so. Actually, no, there is one thing I should probably mention. So try to keep as much health as you can for this fight, purely because Golden Frieza. So obviously it is the Ultra Golden Frieza, and if you're not aware with his ability, when you not kill him, well, I guess get rid of yourself by the first time, he does revive and shoot a laser, obviously, and does do a fair bit of damage, so be very careful of that. Because obviously if you get very low with Bardock or Goku and Vegeta, it could be a one-shot and you have to redo the event again. Or redo the stage again. So just be a little bit very, like, you know, wary about that. You should be fine, but I'd rather, you know, give you the heads up just just in case you're wondering why he does so much damage. Broly, I don't think Broly is that annoying, to be honest. I don't think we got hit that much with him. Can't remember. I guess another thing is be very careful with Goku and Vegeta as well. Obviously you need a lot of attacks with Goku, but you also need a lot of attacks with Vegeta, so make sure if you're with Goku there, Broly doesn't get a little bit too excited, otherwise he could destroy Goku fairly easily. So I guess that was annoying as well, how he keeps switching, but it's still not that bad, really, to be honest. But luckily we got very lucky with blue cards here as well, as you can see. Yeah, I don't think this fight was too bad either. What's this, like, battle 3 or 4? I can't remember now. But obviously this will have chapters as well in this video. Hopefully, sometimes YouTube, for some weird reason, I'm not too sure why, doesn't always put chapters in, even though I put it in the description. Sometimes it doesn't register, so maybe it's a YouTube issue. I'm not sure, because the last video it worked, but then another video I did ages ago didn't put the chapters in for some weird reason. So if not, I'll probably put a pinned comment as well showing the chapters, just in case it doesn't work. So at least if I have chapters, you don't have to watch the whole video. I mean, obviously I really appreciate if you do, but if you're stuck on one stage, you can go back, you know, and go from there and see how I did it. Even the team builder, all I did was just saga from the movies, and just, it's not that hard, these events. Well, this event actually. Even the dramatic battle event, that one wasn't too bad, because it was annoying, but as long as you understood how to tackle on the fight, like what to do, it was fairly simple. The only one I semi-struggled with was the Turles fight, and that was because I needed pure luck. The Turles one, you just need a lot of luck. But I think I got that one done in 3 attempts. So it wasn't too bad. I probably should have counted how many attacks I did get with Vegeta here while I was watching this clip again. Because I was pretty sure I was fairly close to getting all of them done, because I think Vegeta was the only one I was missing. But yeah, again, I do it again, and I show you, well, not show it, but I do speed it up so you guys can see that it's the same strategy. It's just, there's no point in me doing the same clip again when I just need the one challenge, so that's why I just speed it up, just to show. But I think Vegeta was the only one needed. Maybe if I switched here, did I switch to Vegeta? I can't remember. I think I did. No, I didn't think, no, because I was worried about the timer count, that's right. Because obviously if you lost the timer count, you lose the fight, and then, yeah. But then we must have been like literally 1 or 2 attacks off. Like, we would have been very close to getting it done in this one run. So most of these, like I said, you can get done in one run. It just requires a lot of luck. I own cover change, I've got to do cover change. But cover change, you have to be very careful for as well, because obviously you can get very unlucky with cover change and instantly die, so you have to be very careful with that. I think I got the cover change with Gogeta, because I knew Gogeta would, you know, at least be able to tank it, sort of, so I was fine with that. So I guess doing a second run was probably the best bet to do, so you don't have to worry about losing a casualty there. Yeah, this Broly one here wasn't too bad either. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, because well, I guess the key thing to quickly beating this is use Goku's blue card, because his blue card destroys Broly. And I think you have to use a special skill 3 times with Goku. It's a lot of Goku ones, yes, especially with 2 times of Goku. I think special skill 3 times, I think it was. But like I said, his blue card destroys his Broly, so make sure you try and get that as much as you can. But other than that, it was fairly easy to fight. I don't remember struggling at all with this. I don't think so. But again, you just get sort of lucky with cards, but that's why Broly, the new Broly is really good for bringing the cards in that we need, so. But again, you don't necessarily need Broly for this. It just helped out a lot, obviously. We're getting the cards we need, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess. You can still obviously do it. It's just we got a bit more lucky here. As you can see, blue card, Poppy's main instant green card, so we can just wait a little bit, swap to Goku. Then we can use green card. I think we get enough. Do we get energy back here? Was the special skill 2 times? I thought it was more than that. But as you can see, we got another one anyway. You have to use the main ability of Goku. So it is fairly simple. But look at the blue card damage. Like, destroys him. Just like in the movies. So I guess that does make sense. I don't know if it... I'm assuming it's buffed for this stage. That's why it does so much damage. Could be wrong. But Broly doesn't really do that much damage here. I guess you could use a Rising Rush, but I don't think it does that much damage, so it's probably not worth it. Or did we use it on this one? One stage we used a Rising Rush with a free character they give you, and it did like under 100k or something ridiculous. It was not even worth it. But if you get a lot of blue cards, you'll easily beat this event with like heaps of time left. But as you can see, he does obviously take a bit of damage, so just be very careful of that as well. I mean, he does tank a bit, but, you know, like I said before, you don't really want to lose the run. I do keep checking here and there, because like I said, I try to get this done all in one run. I usually forget what I'm aiming for. Because at least if I'm doing this pre-recorded, I can sort of count to myself what I'm missing and stuff like that. So it does help out, but that's what I said before. I think it was in the last video, like the normal stage video of this. They should have like a new mission update where it updates in game, like, yep, you got, you know, 2 out of 3 special skills used or stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about too much. You know exactly what's aimed for, sort of thing. I guess they can, maybe they can't do it. I'm sure. Well, I'm sure they can do it. It wouldn't be that hard, right? I'm not sure. I'm not a game developer, so I could be wrong. And I think this blue card here actually finishes them off, yeah. So, fairly easy fight, yet again. Like I said, the Turles... Oh, not Turles fight, I'm getting... thinking of the other one now. The Broly fight is probably the only real hard one, I'd say. But, yeah, even that wasn't really that bad. Right, so... I don't know... Yeah, this is the Broly one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the Broly one I'm thinking of. So, with this one, it's still... You can still obviously beat it, but like, without Gogeta, it just... Gogeta tears Broly here, and you definitely need it. So, this took me 2 attempts. My first attempt was going good, and then he instantly one-shot Goten. So, I had to redo it again. And obviously be very careful with his switches as well, because if you, again, combating your switch, he could just destroy you that way, so... And as you see, with Videl here, he's definitely put up the numbers. So, just be very careful of that. What else is there as well? You do have to land 2 ultimate skills, so make sure you do that as well. Was there anything else more difficult? Not really. The challenges were fairly simple. It's just be very careful because this Broly does hit very hard. But yeah, again, Gogeta is very good for this fight because he hits very hard against Broly. So it's a win-win really. But like I said, if you don't have Gogeta, it will make things a lot harder. But you probably could bring... I'm just thinking, you probably bring another really good red unit if you can. I'm not sure who I'd bring though. Probably any red unit you can bring that's max arts probably be the way to go. Because if not, they lose. Well, they lose a fair bit of attack, and I think it's 80% they lose. So it's definitely a big debuff if you don't have them done. Which, as like I said, why I heavily recommend to focus on arts boosting units here and there, or at least farming it up a lot. Just in case for these events, so you have all the resources ready. Because that's probably the big problem I have with arts boosting, is it requires a lot of resources. So it's not worth it just wasting on units you're not really going to use that often. So that's why I recommend using like ultras, legend units, stuff like that are going to be good in the future. Especially legend units, I feel like are definitely a must do. Purely because, they get double the buff against top advantage characters. So it is such a huge thing to focus on. I think we did. Did we get all done this one? I'm trying to remember if we got all the challenges on this one. Cause I think we must have. That's why I used Gogeta's ult there. But Videl does decent damage here, I guess. But I mean, not really, I guess. How many fights do you have for this? Is it 2 more fights? 1 more fight? Can't remember, actually. Must have a few more, because the video goes on for a little bit longer, so... yeah, Goten doesn't really do that much, to be honest. He's probably, like, the main problem with this fight. Or even Videl. Videl doesn't really do that much damage, but... Goten is such a big risk of getting hit as well. It's very scary playing with him. Yeah, just because of how easy he can just, easily get one shot. It's just, I guess that makes the fight harder, because like I said, that's how I lost my first attempt, is you just got one shot by Broly. But this one, obviously a lot better run, a lot of HP still left, so I think we got all of them done in this, all the challenges done in this run. By the way, I love using this for Gogeta, it's so cool. Imagine if the Dimension Shatter, or the Dimension here, stayed for the whole game like an actual domain. That'd be sick, but I don't know. Could they do that? I mean, I guess they could, you can still play in it, so... I don't know why they don't do it. I guess because not many other characters have domains like that. Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's why we haven't got a proper domain, because no other character really does that. Unless they give it to Broly as well, but... I don't know, very weird. Is there anything else we're challenging about this event? Probably not, that's probably all the advice I can give for this stage. Like I said, you can use the green Broly for this fight as well if you want to. Obviously don't use Broly and Paragus, or Paragus and Broly, because they won't do very well. So make sure you don't bring them. And there you go, Goten obviously got the win there. What a amazing thing you're never gonna see again. Battle 5, so we have 2 more stages. So yeah, all done. Not too bad. Right, so this one I don't think was too bad either. Now, I did actually try to not cheat it, but work a way around it, and I brought the green Broly here. So it does say use a Broly character to hit, do the attacks here. So realistically, if you wanted to, you could bring the the red Broly that just goes, unique equipment. You could easily do that. But for this one, since this green Broly has Fury in his name, it's technically a Broly character, but not the Broly they're referring to. So if they had Broly, 2 dots, Fury, then you could bring this one. Bring him to do the missions. So this one, I just brought him just to help out anyway. He did do massive help in this, actually. I think. I think this Purple Broly did a lot, actually, as well. But both these together did incredible, so made this a whole lot easier this fight, but still wasn't that challenging, I guess. I mean, like I said, you'll keep seeing all these clips and we keep checking back and forth just to make sure. Because I didn't want to make this video, like, super long. But if they brought us, if they made us actually bring characters, if they said, I'll bring this, well, I guess I can't do that because it'd be unfair for, like, people that are new to the game. I was going to say, it'd be good if you can, like, switch out this Broly, for example, for your own red Broly. But, like I just said, I don't think they could do that because then that makes the fight a lot harder for other people, so does make sense, I guess. But this is why as well, I think a lot of these events, what they got to do from now on is, I think I talked about this in the last video, I might have actually been for the anniversary battle thing, is we need to have like our own boost system for PvE units. So, for example, all the PvP, actually they could do that, all the units in PvP for the new season boost, bring them to PvE and have the same boost. That would make these fights a whole lot easier, because obviously not everyone's going to have the new units and stuff like that. So if they bring the same boosted units for PvP onto PvE, that'll solve, well, not all of it, but it will help massively speed up these events for everyone to play, right? So there you go, Legends. I mean, helping you give ideas to make these PvE events more fun, because I will say I've seen a lot of people on Twitter complain about this event. So before I started doing it today, I was a bit worried. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be one of them videos that's gonna be like super long to complete, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, like I said, it is tedious, but it's not super hard like I was expecting it to be. But I mean, as you can see, that's why I thought I put the whole clips here so you can see the same strategy I did, stuff like that. I did mess up at a few spots here with the battle, obviously, but that's why the new Broly is so good for these sort of fights, to sort of tank here, because when he does start doing damage, he does definitely do damage, which is another good thing about this Broly. But like I said, I probably don't actually, I do like they're forcing us to ask boost units, but I also don't, because I don't want new or like free play players just to waste it on units they're not going to use again. I mean, like I said, these anniversary units are good, but for example, they recommend to use it for the new Broly and Paragus, which I got done. I don't even think I used them in this whole fight, all these stages, did I? I don't think so. So that's why, like I said, most free play players or new players are going to see that and go, oh, I have to do Broly and Paragus as well, which you can, but you don't necessarily have to. Which is, like I said, it's a waste of resources, because how much ask boosting is, it's just a waste, really. So at least in this video, like I said, you can check all of it, see how difficult it's actually going to be if you struggle with it, stuff like that. But like I said, the units they do give you for free, I will admit, they are pretty good for what you need to do for this event. Yeah, I don't think this was really that difficult. Was it really difficult? Not really. Cause I think I got all this done in one challenge. I think. But I think the next one, the last fight, I got done in 2. And I think that was purely because I missed out on ultimate skill, I think it was, on the last fight. But the last fight was actually surprisingly easy. So that clash that you did see with Broly was what I was talking about on the other stage with the yellow Broly you gotta face. That's what you have to be careful about, so now you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, this Broly actually does really good, this new, well, not new, but the free Broly they give you here. He does really good damage in this fight. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about this stage. It's fairly simple. I think this Broly finished it off, the fight. Maybe. I think he must have. I guess another thing as well you'd have to be very careful is, as you can see, we do get fairly close on the timer counts for these missions here, which is just how long it takes. But like I said before, you don't necessarily have to get all these challenges done in one run. You can just do bit by bit if you want to, which I recommend depending on if you're struggling with a certain one. Like, for example, you could easily just focus first doing one run with losing, or doing it with no casualties, And then the second run you do purely on other stuff, like to try and complete the other missions you forgot. Well, not forgot, but missed to do, sort of things. So that's probably what I'd recommend to do. Makes it a lot easier to do the challenge and stuff like that. Alright, so up to the lucky last one. So it looks like I've got all the challenges on that one again. Fairly simple stuff. So now the next fight, which the next one is like a little bit more challenging, but it's not like super challenging at the same time. So if I remember correctly, I bring the red Gogeta. Yep. Which this one's good. Actually, no. Now think about it, you'd probably bring Gogeta as the best bet here, because if I remember correctly, you'd have to do the same thing. You have to do like same amount of attacks with Broly, which again, which is what I said in the other part of the video, is you could not cheat it, but beat it a different way. Like for this one, for example, this red Gogeta, my one, is going to count towards the other missions for Gogeta, right? Because they both got the same name. Where if I brought the new Broly, since it's Broly Fury, it won't count. Well, I don't think it will count. I could be wrong. But going off how specific the word is with Legends sometimes, it shouldn't work, but it could work, if that makes sense. So for this one, probably just bring the red Gogeta, but as you can see, the units they do give you do really well in this, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think you have to do 10 attacks with both. 2 special move, I think it was as well. But it really wasn't that bad. But I think the only thing I didn't do was ultimate skill, which I forgot to do. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I'll do a second run, just quickly do once over, just quickly show you how to get it done. Was there anything else to really worry about here? Probably not. Because both these units are really good damage. Like the units they give you, so it's not really that difficult. This Goku does hit decent, not scary amount of damage, but as you see, this Broly just does so much damage. So really, I could use my ultimate skill there and get one of them done, because I think you have to do it twice. Maybe it wasn't that. I didn't get to quickly read all the missions there while I'm recording, but that's alright. Cause I think I was gonna use the ultimate there. Then he switched to Broly. Well, the opponent switched to Broly, so I thought probably not. This red Gogeta does good damage, but obviously your one most likely would do better damage. Actually, no, it looked like the other Gogeta did, which is a bit weird. Anything else yet? I didn't know. No, that probably didn't hit really too hard there one. So it was probably another semi-easy fight, I would say. So I guess going off this, you probably necessarily don't need the new unit for this stage either. Obviously it helps out heaps, but you can probably do it without, because as you can see, the other red Gogeta does a lot of damage. So you could just bring like another red character, really, if you don't have the new Gogeta. And by the way, try and use that the feint ability as much as you can to like cover up on key recovery and stuff like that. Obviously I didn't need it because I had overdrive, so I was just waiting for cards. So just another thing to keep in mind, it makes the fight a little bit easier. Not a whole lot easier, but it just helps out overall. But this Gogeta does really good damage as well. What else is there really challenging about this? Not much else really. Not that I can think of. I can't remember what challenge. I know I need to get one more challenge done, but I couldn't remember what I had to get done. But I did put in the clip and just fast forward it anyway. So just to show you that I got it all done, so it doesn't look anything suspicious. Like I'm cutting out heaps of really important stuff. You know, that's why it does take a long time to do these videos, because realistically, I could just put the fight video up as a short. Realistically, I'm probably gonna do that anyway, as a short anyway. But at least with this full-length guide video, you can see step by step each stage, just in case, you know, stage 2 could be really hard for some people. So at least they can still see it, because some people on YouTube might not put the full thing up, because like I said, it does take a long time. But I'll do it because obviously it helps out a lot of people. So Yeah, this fight probably, I don't know how many people are going to watch this video. Hopefully a lot, but it didn't seem as bad as I was expecting it to be. From what I saw on Twitter and that, I thought it was going to be really difficult, but it wasn't that bad. Like, not as bad as I was expecting, at least. It is tedious, but it's not like, oh my god, this is the hardest event in Legends. You know, it's not that bad. We've definitely had way worse back in the day. Yeah, his blue card has heaps damage there. So I think we hit this as well, which, like I said, I love seeing this anyway. I don't think it's actually killed Broly, though. I think Broly lived this. Which is probably like a rare moment to see, because it's Dragon Ball Super Gogeta versus Dragon Ball Z Broly. Bit of a weird one, but it looks cool nonetheless, obviously. Yeah, no, I didn't even kill him. Maybe that means Z Broly is officially stronger than a Z Super Broly there. Maybe. I think this tap we actually lost as well, didn't we? Yeah. So the bots are a little bit tougher in this one, because obviously some bots like don't even get like 700 on the tap. But as you can see, it didn't really matter. Didn't even really come close to dying at all, so... I think, yeah, I missed that one up on the tap there. Still okay though, we didn't die. I got scared here though, I thought we were going to die, but... It's alright, we lived. I did bring Dende as a support. You probably don't need him, but if you do have him, I guess bring him just in case. So, again, the next clip, obviously, is just going to be very fast forward. Same strategy, it's just I think I needed... I can't remember what challenge I missed. But the title for this as well looks sick. This title here, I love that. Oh, and 100 CCs for that, so I think it is like... Yeah, land 2 ultimate skills, so... I quickly speed it up anyway, so you don't have to watch it all over again. So it just shows I did get it done, sort of thing. Yeah, again, same strategy as before, so... but yeah, pretty good event actually. I did like the event. It was a little bit tedious, like I said, but overall it was fun. It was semi-enjoyable. It was a little bit long, but it was fun as well. So I think we go collect the missions after this. Quickly show. All gold stars, obviously what you want. Not a lot of medals there we got there for the anniversary medals, which does sort of suck. So we go here. I think you get tickets as well. Yeah, 10 tickets, 1 guaranteed LF ticket, 200cc I think it was. So pretty good. Like I said, fairly easy fight. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. And if you need more help with team builds or you're stuck on a certain stage, just leave a comment down below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And if you guys like this video and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you as I win the next one.